Welcome everyone to today's Africam show. Always live, always wild indeed. Thank you all so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to have everyone on board on Sonegro. Hi, hello to you, and hello indeed to the elephants. Alfredo, Leon, you're loving the zebra sounds. Yes, I really enjoy the start of that ensemble. I very much enjoy that last lion call there. Zygote, namaste to you too, Zygote. Thank you very much for joining. And you're having guava today. Excellent choice. It's almost coming to that time of day. These birds are coming down to have a lovely drink here at the water. Got some starlings down there. Oh, look at those two starlings side by side. I would say that's a superb starling next to possibly a greater blue-eared starling. Sometimes tricky to tell with those glossy or blue-eared, but that is definitely superb. Bridget McKinney, hi Bridget McKinney, thank you very much for joining us. You're having iced tea, 36 there in Arizona today. We are having blissful temperatures here in the Lowfell, hovering around delightful, it's probably been about 26. I think we're going to get up to 29 soon. I heard tell that our lesser striped swallows are back up there in the northwest. Oh, hello. Photo bomb there from our East African oryx while we were watching the starling. He's struggling there. Was he just, he looks quite sore. Is that oryx limping? Or was he just holding his foot funny while he was having a drink? Karu, good afternoon, Karu. Thank you very much for being here. Bowl of kittens. Hello. And hello indeed to everyone else on chat. Just made it. You just made it in time, Rolly Kittens. Excellent work. Montenegro is having black coffee and cloudy 17 degrees in Metro Vancouver. I think it's so cool that we can all join up like this from wherever we are in the world to be as part of the same incredible spectacle up here at Oldonyo in Kenya. I'm just looking to see if those oryx look quite footsore, but they are really so tough. They need to be to survive out here. If we see animals limping out here, then they often are in quite a lot of pain. Well, it goes for any animals, really. Animals are designed to be incredibly resilient. Look at that oryx watching that elephant there. Montenegro, yes, those starlings are beautiful birds. That was actually really nice images there of them in such lovely light as well. Zygote, greater blue-eared starling, you agree. And dove wings. I think that probably was greater blue-eared starling. I do sometimes, although that was a lovely up-close shot, I try and normally guess for me, the greater blue-eared starling has those darker those darker sort of circles around their eyes. And annoyingly, greater blue-eared starlings normally have more green on them, in my opinion. And then your glossy starlings carry a bit more of that blue. It really does look like these oryx have been hand painted, doesn't it? Nice to see everyone's getting a bit of a turn here at the water at the moment. I know it can sometimes be a little bit fractious with so many mouths to water. Andy, thank you so much for being here. You're saying good afternoon to all you lovely people. Good afternoon to you, Andy. Thank you for joining. Big question to start the show. Are the zebra we see on the migration cams just plain zebra, or are they the subspecies known as Birchwood zebra, also known as the Maraland zebra? Oh, Andy, I thought I'd just cracked the zebra taxonomy thing, but now you've got me confused again. I've just discovered that there's also something called a Grant zebra, which I did not know about. I knew the graviers of the mountain and the plains, whether or not that, I don't think they're actually classified as a subspecies, but there are colour variations between some of the zebra. Wow, but you're now saying that plain zebra and Birchwood zebra. Are you saying that plain zebra and Birchwood zebra are different? They might be, Andy. I'm not totally sure. I have recently just discovered there is a these zebra we hear at Oldonyo, they don't have those shadow stripes. Apparently they're known as Grant zebra. Whether or not it's a formal subspeciation as such, I'm not sure. I know I have also learned that science needs to test for chromosomal differences for a formal subspecies split. But as far as I knew, plains and Birchwood zebra were the same thing. They're definitely not mountain zebra. I know that much. But on those, I'm fairly sure they're plain zebra. But if you're now saying that virtual zebra and plain zebra are different, then I've also got more reading to do, Andy. If we're talking about these zebra, Andy, as far as I know, these are plains or virtual zebra. But you've got me questioning myself now. So I'm also going to need to do more reading around zebra. April Owl, good morning to you too. Welcome to the show. Oh, from a smoky Connecticut, Canadian wildfire smoke. Oh, yes, it's terrible, those wildfires. This is also coming into our fire season here. You've got your glass of cherry iced tea. And I'm happy that you are here for the show. This is excellent. MG Leopard Spots getting ready for the show. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here, MG Leopard Spots. Always an absolute pleasure. Yes, Karu, thank you for confirming there. Superb starlings, greater blue-eared starlings, and white-browed sparrow weavers too. Excellent. Really, really nice views of those birds up at Aldonio. Casper said, Ghost, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. You're enjoying iced tea, iced lemon tea, ready for birds and antelopes today. Dean NC, good morning from Seattle. Good morning to you too, Dean MC. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for being here, Dean NC. You've got a hot cup of coffee and you're ready for the show. On Sonegro, yes, you're also noticing those elephants looking possessive of that waterhole, although they don't do it with too much violence. They normally just are quietly possessive. And I think when you're the size of an elephant, you don't need to make too much noise about being possessive. You just sort of have to be present. Zygote, you're saying plains and virtual zebra are the same, but virtual zebra is like a subspecies of the plains zebra. I'm going to have to go and check that properly again, because I've only very recently learned about Grant's zebra. So leave that with me. I find it difficult to keep up with taxonomy. It just moves so quickly. People are finding, or people, that exceptionally clever scientists are finding differences in DNA sequencing. People are noticing more difference between species. As a result, they're doing more testing. And then we are getting almost subspecies of things. Still seeing big numbers of zebra here on this Puteti River. Although this water there's a lot of mud here now. But the sounds that we're hearing from these cameras really are quite exceptional. I'm sure they're in a sort of basin or something, and these zebra calls reverberate through this dry riverbed and almost echo through the walls of this dry riverbed. It's crazy. Still all sharing quite nicely though, what resources there are here. Okay, I have just done some checking while we are here because I'm very curious about that now. Six different subspecies of plain zebra. Looking at these different scientific names I've found. But that Damaraland zebra, Andy, isn't here. So, goodness knows. We've got the Grant zebra, the Birchall zebra, Chapman zebra, Crawshay zebra, Salute zebra, and the quokka, which no longer has obviously shown those quokkas so extinct. Then we've got plain zebra, mountain zebra, and Grevy zebra. But I also did not know that there were now 6 formally identified subspecies of plain zebra. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, the zebra at Aldonio are those Grant zebra, which is Equus quokka bohemi, and the Birchall zebra, which I believe are the zebra we're seeing here. Equus quokka burchellii. Chapman zebra are Equus quokka chapmani, found in Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. So this is Botswana. So technically, it could be Chapman zebra, but yes, taxonomy is an absolute minefield. Okay, Zygote. So that tells me you are absolutely right. So plain Birchall zebra are plain zebra, but plain zebra are not necessarily Birchall zebra. If that makes sense. MG leopard spots. Yes, that water is looking quite low there. A Prism Ponies Orchestra, indeed. This is a lovely scene here at Tau. As is so often the case, so many species cohabiting quite happily together. Been seeing some fascinating mating behaviors in some of the crocodiles here at Tau recently. Very exciting. Very much hoping to get some baby crocs at some point. As discussed, these crocodiles, and I have worked out that one of the darker ones is definitely a female. And I've actually been trying to get some recognizable characteristics off the male to try and start identifying these crocodiles. We do spend quite a lot of time with them, but unless there's a notch out of a tail or something, it can be quite difficult to get key features. Andy's saying yesterday the whole screen was full of zebra, thousands of them. We have been seeing really good zebra numbers at a lot of these water points, including Aldonio. We've also had some really nice big numbers of zebra at Camelthorn, but everyone goes where the water is. Yes, lots of zebra species all at once. There are, and it's also one of the dangers of using common names. I totally do it. I'm completely guilty of it. I did not do well with learning all my scientific or Latin names, but this is where the confusion happens. And if everyone uses their scientific names or their Latin names, and then the names of the subspecies, it makes things much clearer. Giraffe is another classic of what is and what isn't a subspecies, and it changes quite rapidly taxonomy, but it's purely because science is finding so many different new facets or different elements that they're able to assess, and subspecies testing is becoming increasingly accessible. Bridget McKinney, you're saying they're trying to bring back the quokka. That would be amazing. Wow, how it does it. I suppose it's humans' fault that they're not present anymore. But it does, I'm not going to lie, it does sometimes scare me. What science is capable of, it boggles the mind. And my statement is normally just because we could, it doesn't necessarily mean we should. I'm not saying that about the quacker by any stretch. But humans are getting increasingly capable of things in the scientific field, and it does make one wonder if everything is such a good idea. Zygote, did you hear common moorhen? You could have done. They have been seen here, so you may well have done. And Mr. HUAE 87, Tau is always an absolute joy. It's very, I have seen this waterhole with absolutely nothing at it on various occasions. This season, not so much. Coming into this, well, not coming into it, it is dry. There's not many natural pans out here. So everything is very much congregating at the water that is left. Casper's Third Ghost, the sights and sounds, especially I find that camera in that dry riverbed there are quite spectacular. It acts like its own speaker. But no, there's rarely a dull moment at this Tower waterhole. I have seen in the past 4 out of the big 5 here before. I've also seen the others, but just at separate times. I've seen hunts, all sorts of. There's a lovely egret here. Looks like a greater egret, I think. I find it quite difficult to get perspective on some of these cameras sometimes. We've had some great water life here at Tower before. Yes, I think this. That yellow beak. And have you got black legs there? I think that's your moorhen you're hearing. Had some very nice. This is actually very close to where someone has seen lesser striped swallows yesterday. They returned from their roots. Oh, we're going to see a kill? Often see these egrets. Oh, did he get something? Wading through the shallows. Bridget McKinney. Yeah. The same principles that we'd use if something is injured, or you know, when we would get involved to help, or basically get involved in any way, as if we have caused a problem. Normally, reserves policy is that if we've caused a problem, so if an animal gets trapped in wire or something like that, then that is time to intervene. But if it's a natural thing, so if it's a male lion has been injured by another male lion, then we will let nature take its course. Yes, Cara, great egret. I agree. See, I've been taking pictures of mating crocodiles to try and work out who is who, but it's actually quite difficult to get IDs on crocodiles. I've learned recently, but I am trying. I did get a picture of a tail of whoever the male was earlier. So if we could go back to the tail, I might be able to tell you if this was indeed the male that was mating earlier, or this might be the female. I managed to get an image of the colour pattern on the tail. There we go, let me count. That's not as easy as I thought it would be. So I've got a black, yellow, yellow, black, yellow, black, 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 yellow, yellow, black. I don't think this is the crocodile that was mating earlier, she says confidently. But I am going to practice trying to get IDs on some of these crocs. Mindy Tilipa, have I heard about the latest project to protect rhinos from rhino poaching called Rhisotope Project? Yes, I have, Mindy. I've actually been doing some reading about it because someone mentioned it the other day and I was not up with the most recent news. I was aware that something had happened in the past to do with radioactive isotopes and rhinos, but I wasn't entirely sure what was going on. So I actually went and did some reading. The first trials started apparently in 2021, and things have been tested since then. And again, there was a bigger test trial done in 2024, and then the project has very recently, sort of towards the end of last month, I believe, gone live. And 5 rhino horns, actually up in Limpopo province, have been injected with radioactive isotopes that the theory is they will be identifiable through airport or border radioactive screening devices. So if any of those horns that are carrying those isotopes go through a screening process, that will be picked up. That is the theory behind it. There have been extensive tests. I believe the first trial in 2021 was on 2 rhinos, but what they were putting in them was not radioactive. It was a tester solution or something, probably to see how it moved through their bodies. And then I believe they did another 20 and also monitored with 0 negative effects. And I think I was going to actually screenshot the sentence. Undeniably scientifically proven that there is no harm to the rhinos. I believe it was a very solid statement. But yes, that is the theory, that those rhino horn will not be able to be transported through anywhere or anything that has radioactive detection abilities, because they will be picked up. Montenegro, you're saying that egret has got a much longer neck than your North American egrets. We've got lots of egrets, Montenegro. Gonna have to check and see how many we've got. That the one I was actually comparing it to was the yellow-billed egret, and I was checking distributions. And yellow-billed egrets have got. That's why I wanted to see some legs. Greater egrets have got all black legs, and yellow-billed egrets have got half black, half white legs. But we've got basically like 7 different egrets, and that greater egret or great egret is our biggest. Clues in the name. But some of the egrets we do have here have less elongated necks. Another very common one we see is the western cattle egret, and much less not less impressive, that's not very fair, not quite such elongated necks. I've just been sent some information through from basically about these crocodiles at Tau. I didn't realize they came when they were only about 1.5 years old. But it doesn't say what sex they are. Well, there's definitely a boy and definitely a girl in there. I'm pretty sure of that, at least. Because they looked like they were definitely mating to me. But I do know we've had eggs laid here before. That did not make it. So, oh, is that a black wing stilt? Huh. That's a nice bird to see here. Is that a black winged stilt? I haven't seen a stilt for a long time. Yeah, there's some black winged stilts there. Huh, I don't remember seeing those. I've seen them before, but I don't remember seeing them on these cameras. That's nice. I was actually lucky enough to do some conservation work with a black stilt in New Zealand, apparently the most endangered wading birds on Earth. Looked very similar to this. These are black winged stilts. And I was working with black stilts. And they were black. So finally, the bird naming people got something absolutely correct. I think that would be lovely. Let's go across to King's Camp. Bizarrely, another place I have spent time in my career. Wow, what a lovely image. Oh, this afternoon light is so special. MG leopard spots, you're saying, and snowy egrets have yellow feet. Yeah, we've got one. We've got 6 egrets, and then 2, bizarrely, they're actually called herons. but they're on the egret page, so I'm sure they are a type of egret, just to keep things fresh and exciting. Is this lovely big boy going to have a drink? He looks in excellent condition, actually. God, talk about golden hour light. Someone said earlier there was a perfect reflection. This is a perfect reflection. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. Go on, boy, have a drink. Bridget McKinney, thank you. Thank you. It's nice to have you with us. Oh, if we could just get out a little bit more, we'd get that perfect reflection on the water. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. It's going to be a great screen grab. Go on, down you go, boy. There you go. If we went a bit further out, we'd get 2 giraffes. We're going to lift his head up. We're going to get it. Gorgeous. I don't know why I've only noticed it this year, but I'm extremely appreciative of the winter light this time around. I'm really enjoying it. I just went and sat on my front step yesterday, and I just sat there looking at the light. What a joy. I always go quiet when giraffes drink. There we go. Look at that. Has he finished drinking? It's actually been very windy the last week or so. Look at that stunning reflection. And look how still that water is. It's been quite windy for the last week or so, but it's really dropped now the last couple of days. And look at that still water with that giraffe. Oh, that's pretty. God, go down again, boy. Go on, give us another drink with that reflection. I know, Mindy, right? Mindy Tillapart is saying it makes your heart smile just to know that somewhere in the world this is happening right now. When we get to sit, he's going to drink again. Okay. If we stay at this angle, we'll almost be able to get the whole giraffe giving himself a kiss. It's amazing, hey, Mindy, and we're having no impact on this animal's lives whatsoever by being here. I think a combination of that, the fact that we are so unobtrusive, we are not impacting them in any way, and also the fact that I get to connect with so many people. Go again. I get to connect with so many people from all over the world and share this stuff. Yeah. We should stay slightly more to the side, but he's gone face on. But that is beautiful. Nature's cool, hey? It's finished. All gone. He's drunk his fill, but that was really nice being able to catch him drinking there. We'll catch both giraffes having a drink in this beautiful afternoon winter light. That dove wing sound also very characteristic of these quiet, still afternoons. Worthy of a wildlife photography award indeed. People spend their lives chasing that shot. You wouldn't actually believe how many sunsets I've missed with guests. Something happens or we end up finding something else, and I've tried many times to get to perfect sunset spots and I often get horribly sidetracked. But to get that reflection with the water that still in this golden hour, and it's only since I've been here, I'm definitely not a photographer. I know many brilliant photographers, many of whom have tried to teach me, but I spent a little while taking photos when I was guiding full time, but I found myself getting frustrated and I was not enjoying sightings the way I should have been because I was missing the photos. Mindy, technology is indeed grand, because look, then we can hop across all the way over here to a completely different part of the world almost, with a completely different set of animals. So cool. Didn't have to queue at airports or anything to get here, Mindy. But I was finding myself coming away from sightings frustrated. I was seeing really cool things, but I was missing the photo and ending up with blurry stuff. And rather than going, oh, wow, that sighting was amazing, I was coming away going, oh, yeah, I saw this. And then I completely missed the shot, which to me is not the point. And photography, from what I understand, a lot of it is about, how much money you can spend on equipment, and you can have all the opportunities in the world, but if you can't capture it nicely, then it's wasted. Karu, you're saying Cape Turtle Dove wing sounds. I think their name's changed again, Karu. I think they might be called ringneck doves now. But I've sort of lost track. This is why I don't like to do taxonomy too much, because things change so quickly. But we all know who we mean. So I've got a camera. It's not a very good camera. And I've got a few nice pictures of leopards and lions and things. But then when you start looking into the equipment that proper photographers have and the time they spend editing. I've never edited a photo in my life. But I've got some nice memories of some nice sightings, but I often don't take a camera more than my phone out with me now, because I find myself getting frustrated and struggling around in settings, and you end up missing everything. If it's something really cool that's happening, I might take a quick picture with a phone or something and then leave the photography up to the proper photographers. But it did help me to understand how incredibly important light is for making a photo. And this light, that giraffe sighting, that was an excellent photographic moment. That light, that stillness. I think that's brilliant that these elephants, they go to the dam to have a drink, and then they all drink out the special concrete bit, because it's so nice and fresh and clean. Come on, time to go. Off we go. And we've got old Moto there in the background. I actually saw him not really chase away elephants, but elephants back down from him the other day. Possibly could have been those elephants, but there is our boy behaving himself for now. But we will see what Moto ends up doing. Follow his story. Mindy, we do indeed have the greatest camera in the world right between our ears. We do. That's where the best memories are kept. But thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon. Beautiful, beautiful giraffe sighting, some lovely elephants, lots of zebra. I'm going to go and do some more research on zebra taxonomy, because it may have changed before the next time I'm with you. So take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Keep enjoying these cameras, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye-bye.